Hey guys, Jessie here from Urban Legends Antiques, and this week we are updating and painting a cute little cabinet in olive wood by Chalky Chicks, and we are taking a road trip. So let's get started. I had got this cabinet from my sourcer. I had bought a couple of other pieces of furniture from her, and she threw this one in for free. I'm not sure about the look of it. I want to update it a little bit and give it a more modern vibe, and it was really dusty, so I'm just vacuuming it out. I'm using my new attachments that I bought for my shop vac to see how they work. I'm pulling out my heat gun and my scraper again. The bottom of this piece it was like a weird looking like reflective liner, and I think it was supposed to look like a mirror, but it was only on half of it. So I'm using the heat gun and the scraper to pull it up again. Okay, so I'm using my drill and I'm just removing the hinges off of the doors. My plan is to take off the glass inside as well, and then I want to paint the whole piece inside and out in the olive wood paint from Chalky Chicks. I didn't like the base of the cabinet. I just felt like it dated the piece a lot and it gave it an 80s vibe that I just really wasn't into, so I decided to use this hammer and whack it off, and it came off really, really easily. I'm trying to do better angles and shots for my videos. So here's my attempt at a good shot, and the piece came off and hit the camera. Whoopsies. There were these leftover brad nails on the piece after I had taken off the base, and I just used my vice grips again, and I was able to remove them fairly easily. There was a lot of them, and at this point, I think my hands were getting tired. So the last couple I was really, really struggling with. Now that that's all done, it's time to clean my piece. I am using Dawn and water and just giving the whole thing a good scrub down to remove all of the extra dust and grime that's left on it. I had gotten some feedback from some of my viewers on my video, the Trash to Treasure furniture flip of the mid-mod dresser, that the reason I was having a hard time painting it was because I might not have rinsed it well enough after I washed it with Dawn and water. So I'm doing a very, very good rinse. So here's the first run through, and then I'm going to show you the second. I did it twice this time. So here's the second run through. I really appreciated the feedback that I got from my viewers about the mid-mod dresser because I did it twice. So this is my second run through, and there's still quite a bit of dust and grime left on the piece. Now that that's all done, it's time to sand. I'm giving a little extra attention to the corners of this cabinet. There was some glue on them, and when I took the base of the cabinet off, the glue stayed behind, so I'm just sanding it down to smooth it out a little bit. Now I'm giving the whole piece a light sand with 220 grit sandpaper to just give it a scuff sand so that way the paint will adhere better. I do not keep my paint in the garage. I keep it in our laundry room because it gets so hot out here in the summertime that we've had cans of paint explode on us before in the garage. So we just store it in our laundry room, and it's just to protect the paint so that way that doesn't happen anymore. I'm doing a touch-up with painter's mud on all of the edges that I've sanded so it'll have a smooth finish once it's painted and complete. The hinges are off of the doors, and now it's time to remove the glass insert from each of the doors. Ooh, this part makes me nervous. I was storing all of my screws and nuts from each piece in a plastic bag, but we have plastic bags of screws and nuts floating around all over the place. So now I keep them in a little glass jar like this so I know that this piece is the one I'm working on. A light coat of the painter's mud, it dries really, really quickly, like 20 minutes. And so now I'm just giving it a good sanding so it looks nice and smooth when it's all done. The reason for the road trip is we're taking a piece of furniture to my brother in Arizona. He's my oldest brother. I have 7 siblings, and I had told him, you know, whatever piece of furniture you want, you can have. So they have very good taste. They chose a Haywood Wakefield that I had redone in olive wood by Chalky Chicks as well. And we just took the opportunity to make a little road trip out of it, a little midweek fun. And we delivered the piece of furniture to them and spent some time with them and just came back home, and it was nice. It was a nice little break from the hustle and bustle of California life. I always buy the 32-ounce size of paint from Chalky Chicks. This is their olive wood. I use the same jar of paint on both pieces of furniture, the piece that I sent to my brother and the piece that I am painting here. So just so you know, you can do two mid-sized pieces of furniture with the large can of paint and still have paint left over for something small. I've added some water to my paint. Chalky Chick says you don't have to do that, but I always do it to thin it out so it'll go through my gun easier. And now it's time to shake it up and get ready to spray.
I started painting with this air compressor. It's a 3-gallon air compressor, and it wasn't strong enough for my paint. So when I was able to afford it, I bought a larger air compressor instead. And this is the 8-gallon one. It works better, but I could still use a larger one. This air compressor runs nonstop when I'm painting.
I'm painting the shelf for the inside of the cupboard, and at first I was going kind of quickly, but I had gotten some feedback from one of my viewers who said that I was kind of spraying too fast when I would do it. And I think because I have a tendency to kind of almost jiggle the paint gun back and forth, that I wasn't getting as smooth of a layer. So here I am trying to go very smooth and slow and go back and forth, and he said to let the paint almost fall onto the piece instead of the way I was doing it before. So I'm taking your feedback and I'm doing as recommended. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the comments that I've gotten on some of the other pieces I've painted. I think it's making me a better painter, and I'm more than willing to take constructive criticism. Chalky Chicks in olive wood is a nice neutral color, and it has a green undertone to it. So in some light it looks beige, but the piece that I took to my brother in his house, he has a lot of red. It pulled up more of the green, and it looked really, really pretty. It was this photo from my Instagram account that my brother and his wife saw, and they loved this piece and called me immediately and said that's the one that they want. Here we are heading out to Arizona to take my brother his buffet. I love driving to Arizona. There's hardly ever any traffic on the road. In addition to painting the piece, we also repainted all of the screws and the hinges on it in black. And if you look, you can see we just take the screws and push them into cardboard, and then they'll stay up so you can spray paint them all. This is 2 coats of the Chalky Chicks paint in olive wood on this cute little cabinet, and then we added a top coat to it as well, and we are getting ready to put the doors back onto the cabinet now. Chuck's putting the hinges back on the door in preparation for attaching them back onto the cabinet. I love this part where we're getting close to finishing and you can see it all coming together. He's also attaching the fasteners back on to hold the glass insert in place. This part always makes me so nervous. I'm always afraid the glass is going to break. We've broken a couple of pieces of glass and mirror that go back into the cupboard, so we're always extra careful at this point. And now we're attaching the doors back onto the cupboard. We're in the home stretch now for sure. I have 7 siblings and we're all close. We're always on the phone with each other, chit-chatting or talking about family gossip. If something happens, it's like the hotline is fired up and we're all on the phone with each other. You know, we're doing that multiple phone call thing where we'll each add on a person so we're all talking together. It's totally normal for me to be on the phone with 3 of my siblings at 5:30 in the morning, just catching up before the day starts and we head out to work and to our daily lives. Babe, you're in some of the 5:30 a.m. calls, huh?
Rarely, but yeah.
What do you think about the 5:30 call?
It's too early.
It's not. But that's the only time I have to talk to him.
I talk too much to my siblings.
At 5:30?
No. 5:30 in the evening, maybe.
The doors are back on and now we're adding the handles on. Okay, we put the shelf back in. The doors are attached. It looks good. At this point, I think it's done. There's a little hole in the back. We've seen that before. Usually I'll put some string lights through there, but Chuck doesn't like it. So we're going to work on the back again. When I say we are going to work on the back, what I really mean is Chuck. Chuck doesn't like it. So I told him, if you want to fix it, go ahead. And he's going to do it.
We had this backer board left over in the garage from a previous project we had done. So Chuck is cutting it to size to fit onto the back of this cabinet. The backer board has been attached to the cabinet, and Chuck said that he added a little bit of caulking to the edges to give it a good seal. And now he's using the same jar of Chalky Chicks paint that I had painted with before to finish the back and paint it up. And this is the second coat going on.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Urban Legends Antiques, and I also have a website with items available for shipping. We just added our shirts. I've been getting requests for people who want to buy our Urban Legends Antique shirts, so I have some shirts that are going to be listed that you can purchase. And the website is www.urbanlegendsantiques.com. And here is our final review of our cabinet that we updated and painted in olive wood by Chalky Chicks. We removed the back that had a hole for lights to go through and added a complete back onto it, and I think it came out really good. You can find this in our shop next week. Thanks, you guys! You can like and subscribe to my channel, Urban Legends Antiques, and hit the notification bell so that way you get notified when I have a new video coming out. And don't forget to share this video if you like it with your family and friends. I'm going to do that tomorrow when I talk to my family at 5 in the morning. I'm going to tell them to share this video. I'm Jessie from Urban Legends Antiques, and thanks for coming along for the ride.
Literally.
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 You really came along for the ride this week. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up.